a lot of the people who had a lot of money came to me and hired me to coach them because they were rich but miserable. They were successful but unhappy.
Welcome back, Noah.
Hello, great to see you.
It's great to see you. How have you been?
Well, good. Just pumping out books left and right. I'm on my just published my 25th book. Yeah, and 18 languages my books are in now, and just it's exciting helping people, like you said in your opening, helping people make a lot more money, but more importantly, win their lives back. Just really get their time back, get their lives back. So it's really exciting.
That's awesome. Yeah, now let's start there, because that's a good place to start. And everybody that's joining us, hi, Sharon, Joanna, Jojo, how you doing? Any questions? Feel free. But the 7-figure life, okay, it's definitely not just about making money. So that is a good start right there. Good segue into what you were alluding to anyway. Mm-hmm. Then I'm going to show your stack of books that you have written.
And we do mean stack.
So why is it more not just only making money?
Well, okay. I love that question. Let's jump right into it, because there are a lot of miserable millionaires out there. So the point is, I've coached a lot of people who were just getting started in business. Maybe, they have a job and they're wanting to maybe start a side hustle or start their own business. I've worked with entrepreneurs. You mentioned I work with 7- and 8-figure company CEOs, executives, elite athletes, people from all walks of life. And so I've had the opportunity to coach a lot of wealthy people and people who wanted to be wealthy. And what's interesting is a lot of the people who had a lot of money came to me and hired me to coach them because they were rich but miserable. They were successful but unhappy. And that it's like, it doesn't compute. It doesn't make any sense. Like, how could, because of course everybody thinks, well, once you have a lot of money, then
you got the money,
you're happy. And a lot of times it doesn't work out that way. No. And so the point is, one of the reasons that I published, wrote and published this book, The 7-Figure Life, is for that precise reason, because I don't want to create more miserable millionaires. I want to create happy millionaires. You know what I mean?
Happy millionaire.
That's what it's about. What's that?
I could happily be a miserable millionaire, but I don't think
right, exactly.
I'd be spending too much money and having fun with it.
Well, it's funny because
they spend all their time making the money and then worry about money.
That's exactly right. And of course we've all heard the phrase, money doesn't buy happiness. Well, you know what? I grew up poor in a rich neighborhood. Okay, so I know what it's like to be poor. And let me tell you, there's nothing good about being poor. It totally sucks. There's nothing good about it. So I am not one of those people that says money can't buy happiness, because the truth is, now that I have money, I'm a hell of a lot happier. Let me tell you.
Yeah, because it does alleviate a certain amount of stress. It does alleviate a certain amount of worries and issues.
Right.
You're going to have to say that again. I couldn't quite hear you. What did you say?
I said it does alleviate certain issues. So you're it relieves some of the stress on you. You don't have to worry about,
precisely,
you're going to be able to pay this bill. It'll be like, yeah, okay, it's gone.
That's right. And so what money really represents to me is choices. It empowers you. In other words, when I didn't have money, had up poor, we didn't have choices. We couldn't go on vacations. A lot of times, we basically subsisted on macaroni and cheese for weeks, on end. And then the bank decided to foreclose on the house when I was 15. So if you've ever been involved in or had a foreclosure or know someone has, it's a very traumatic experience. And it certainly was for my family. So, these are examples of when you don't have money, you don't have choices. So that's how I look at money. Money enables you to have options, to have choices. And that's what I look at money as, and so, but just setting that aside, even money just by itself is a very, very emotional issue for most people. It's very emotional. One of the reasons for that is because it's one of the last taboo subjects. You can't talk about it in polite company. If you don't believe me, next time you're at a party or at a networking event, go up to someone and say, "Hey, Bob, how much money did you make last year?"
Yeah.
See how that conversation goes, right? You can't talk about it. I mean, they might get punched in the face. I mean, you see what I mean? So it's a taboo subject.
My personal information, you don't need to know about it, because we think that if somebody knows about, not me, but most people think that if everybody knows my business, they know how much money they want, they're going to come and ask for money. or so
Right.
it's always worried about what the other person is thinking. So yeah, that's something like even in a company, they don't want you in like companies that I've worked for, they don't want employees to tell each other what the salary is.
Right.
And I'm like,
Exactly.
I don't give flying frogs behind. I tell everybody how much I make. You don't like it? Great. Too bad. Your choice, not mine.
Exactly. Well, I'm sure we've all heard the phrase that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, right? We mostly have heard, I mean, a lot of people have heard that
Oh,
phrase.
I didn't know that.
And so the point is, growing up poor, I was around poor people. But what's so funny is I grew up in a rich neighborhood.
I know
So
you
Mhm.
were
my family was
right?
the poor family in
Yeah.
the rich neighborhood. So I had a very fascinating dichotomy of, okay, my family's poor, but all of my friends and my classmates are very wealthy. You see
Yeah.
what I mean? So I
Yep.
hated being poor. And I'm like, how the heck do I get out of this? you
Yep.
know?
I know
Oh,
my
yeah.
So
we were very poor too, and we had the big block cheese and the powdered milk and all that kind of stuff when we were growing up. And my best friend was from the rich and wealthy.
Mhm.
Everybody's a lawyer in the family, mansion on top of the hill,
Yep.
and that was my best friend. So I would go up there, and I was introduced to all the flavors of ice cream. They
Right.
had a housekeeper, Mrs. Burke. She was the love. And we would go over and she'd be like, well, what kind of ice cream would you guys like? And I'm like, what do you mean? It's vanilla. Because that's all we ever had, right?
Yeah.
So they opened the double door freezer and it was like,
Wow.
whoa, ice cream. And I was like,
Mhm.
what is this?
Right.
It
It's
was like my
another world. It is
Yeah.
another world.
It is.
yeah. So I mean, I was like, oh man,
Mhm.
and but I mean, but still, even though they were still a great family, they were
Mhm.
really down to earth family. They had all the privileges, they had all the things,
Yep.
but still a very down to earth family. And I still talk to her now. She's still, part of my life, you
I
know.
like it.
And but it did make me see like, I want to be more there than
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. I'll tell you a quick story to jump off your point there. My wife and I, we were living in a nice house, just basically I would call it an upper middle class home here in Ohio,
Mhm.
and I bought that home in 2011, and then at the height of the pandemic in 2020, I had this vision that we were supposed to move, and it didn't make any sense to me. It was like, what
Mhm.
do you mean move? We don't need to move. There was no reason. It didn't make any sense. But I had that vision or that knowing. I'm sure everybody listening to this
Yeah.
program has had one of those
No, no.
knowings, right? That
Mhm.
inner prompting, and it doesn't make any logical sense, but in your heart or your gut, you're like, I got to do it. So
I
anyway, I
do.
decided to search for houses, not even thinking that we would move. I think maybe like in a year or 2 years or whatever. And
Mhm.
I was searching, and in about 10 minutes, I found the most beautiful mansion I had ever seen. It was 10 minutes down the street from where we were living at the time. And the very next day, this happened in November of 2020, the very next day, there was going to be an open house in this mansion. So we
that
drove
too
to the
big.
house. We were driving up the driveway. My wife looks at me and says, I'm packing tonight. And 12 weeks later, we moved into this house that I'm sitting in right now. It is a
Oh,
6,000
nice.
square foot mansion on a hill. And because of what I teach my clients and in my
Mhm.
books and my coaching, my training programs, we were able to pay off the mortgage of this house 27 years early. So
Wow.
I
Nice.
share that story because I want people to realize that you really can break through that. Thank you for putting that up, breakthroughwithnoah.com, because you really can change your life in 12 weeks or less.
Mhm.
And so, again, I share that story to inspire people, not to say how great I am, but to say, if I hadn't listened to that inner prompting, I wouldn't be sitting here right now.
Yep.
Okay. So
Right.
you got to take action sometimes when it doesn't make any logical sense, but you got to listen to those inner promptings and take action.
Yep. Well, I did that. If I like bought, sold, bought, sold, bought, sold houses, and then this one in Pennsylvania, if I bought this house in Massachusetts where I was, I would not have been able to afford it.
Right.
You know?
I
So,
love the Midwest. Your dollar goes a lot further here. I'll tell you that. I
yeah,
agree with you. I've lived on both coasts. I live in New England and California. It's like, oh
yeah,
my God,
right.
so yeah, it's pretty
Really?
nice.
It's this much? This house?
Exactly.
Okay,
Exactly. Yes,
fine, sold.
exactly.
And it
Oh
was
yeah, I
actually
got exactly. And
almost
on
hit
either
another
coast, this
problem.
house would have been in the millions. And I'm like,
Yep, right.
There you go.
exactly same thing. If this was up there, it'd be millions. I'm like, and there'd be no way in hell. But here, it's like, man, I even paid over because they were pending again. It went pending 3 times, and it was the only one I liked. And I looked at like 100 houses, but it was the only one I liked. And I'm like, I want that one.
Nice.
You know? And when it was the last one pending, I said, well, what did they offer you? You know? And then I said, I'll give you this much more cash. And they went, okay.
Okay. Of course they did.
So I have a mortgage-free home.
Nice.
You know, that I got at the very end of the year. So closing out businesses and starting a new year fresh and all that kind of stuff too. Worked out good. Moved to the state. Yeah. So sometimes it is timing. It's meant to be. It's like kismet. It's like the cards are lining up, the stars.
But you got to take action. You've got to listen to those inner promptings. If I would have not listened, imagine if I would have just stayed in bed and ignored it, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. I'd be in an okay house. Again, there's nothing wrong with it. But hey, it's nice to be in a really, really nice house, you know?
Yeah.
Exactly. And then you did like have all the time to write all these books and do all this stuff. And it's like, so 25 books now?
Yes, 25 books in 18 languages. Yes,
that's amazing. And this Permission to Succeed, that was your first one, correct?
Yes, it was. Yep. My very first book was published by the Chicken Soup for the Soul publisher. So now I'm actually the only author in history who's had works published by Hay House, HarperCollins, Simon & Schuster, Mind Valley, Nightingale Conant, and the Chicken Soup for the Soul publisher. Nobody else in history has ever done that. Not Tony Robbins, not Wayne Dyer, not Stephen Covey, just little old me.
Well, congratulations for that. That's amazing. Well, you know what? You deserve it. And the information and this is, you know, I'm hoping, I'm pretty sure, because this is your style, how you wrote this book. It is easy to follow. It's, you know, it's step by step. It's down to earth. It's, you know, it's really great, you know. But going back to the first book, now that was when you were kind of struggling days too, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I had tons of head trash about money. Hence, I wrote a book called Get Rid of Your Head Trash About Money. In fact, you can see some of these books behind me here, you know, some of my 25 books. Basically, I've written 25 books on one subject, which is how to get rid of your head trash about money, you know, because I grew up with so much of it, you know, and I'm like, and none of the books that I spent an insane amount of years and years and years and hours of my life reading every self-help book out there, and they never solved the problem. You know, and to your point that you just brought up, that's why I've really very consciously and very on purpose made all of my books very step by step, very sequential, very here's what you do, because I read so many books and they never said anything. And I'm like, dude, will you just tell me what to do? And they never say anything.
Yeah, I get books. I get the books for my show, and people know that, you know, if I have like 1 million dog ears and 1 million tags sticking out of them, you know, it's a damn good book. All right. But then there's some books that I get and they're like this thick, and I read the whole bloody thing, and I'm like,
you didn't say anything.
Now tell me how to do anything. You're saying what the issues are, how, you know, what that is, what this is. But,
that's right.
Okay, but how do we fix this?
That's right. Exactly. So that was very frustrating to me as a consumer, as a reader of these books and going to these seminars. And so what's so funny now today, so many people have the same experience with me in that they've been going to all of these seminars, reading all these books exactly like I was. And then they come to me, and for the first time, boom, they explode. They go through the roof. I actually, a quick story. I had a woman who has a business out in Arizona, and she's a self-described seminar junkie. That's what she called herself, a seminar junkie, because she was going to all these seminars, right? I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that. And, you know, and she was doing well in her business, but she just kept hitting this income ceiling. It just, you know, she couldn't break through. And so she actually joined my program with one of my coaching programs called the 12-Week Breakthrough, because I'm known for helping people make more in 12 weeks than they did in the previous 12 months while actually winning their lives back. So she joined the program. And guess what? In the first 2 weeks of coaching with me, she tripled her investment. She tripled in 2 weeks, and we hadn't even gotten to the money part yet. So it's like, wow.
Yeah. I'm telling you, it's important. It's important to have coaches in your life. You know, I remember when coaching first came out years and years ago. It was like, what is this? Are you serious? Because the family that I told you about, Okay, my friend Rosie, she was, the second to the youngest, my best friend. Or everybody else is a lawyer. She went to, Yale and studied not law, but she was a life coach. I'm like, huh?
What?
what? What is that?
Right.
Is your family going to hate me because you're my friend and you're the only non-lawyer in us? But she did really well, she really did. But I had no idea what a life coach was,
Mhm.
and now you have so many coaches for so many different things. And how important is that to have that in your life? And whether you think you can afford it or not, the thing is, you can't not afford it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really need it because you're just stuck. You're plateaued,
Yeah.
and
Right.
there's a little bit of extra money for someone that knows, someone that has it down pat.
Yeah.
25 books later.
Well,
And
that's a great point, Gene. If I may, I'll give you an example of exactly what you're talking about. So I ask all of my coaching clients, whether it's group coaching or one-on-one coaching, I ask them a series of questions, right, to make sure that it's a good fit. And so I was actually talking with one of my clients. His name's Charles, and I said, and he has a business in North Carolina. He's an entrepreneur. And as we were talking, I said, Charles, and by the way, he'd been reading my books and he'd been watching my videos on YouTube. So he understood what makes me different, why I'm different from, all
Right.
those other guys. And so, he got it. And so anyway, I asked him the question that I ask all of my coaching clients. I said, how much do you think it's costing you? Or how much do you think it's going to cost you in the next 12 months if we don't get rid of your head trash about money? In other words, if you don't stop stopping yourself from the success you're capable of. Now, without batting an eye, he said $1 million. He said, Noah, if I don't fix this problem, everything you're talking about, he said, I'm easily going to lose out on $1 million just in the next 12 months. So I said, Charles, first of all, that's very common. I talk to people every day who say, Noah, I'm losing out on $1 million, $2 million a year or more, right? So it's very common, number one. Number two, I said, I tell you what, why don't you just give me 10% of that million and I'll find you $1 million in the next 12 months. In other words, if you give me $1 and I give you $10 back, is that a good deal? He goes, well, yeah, that's a good deal. So he actually decided to do that. He decided to hire me on the spot. That's why I love working with high achievers, right? Because they make decisions quickly and firmly. They don't dilly-dally. They don't mess around. They don't, put it off. They just make decisions and move forward. They take action, right? So anyway, so he decided to do that. And he paid me $100K to coach him one-on-one for a year. That's 10% of $1 million, right? So he invested $100K in coaching with me. So now I coached him for a year. Now, as it turns out, I didn't find him $1 million in the next 12 months. Instead, I found him 1.8 million in just 10 months.
There you go.
Did he give you a bonus?
So he gave me $1 and I gave him $18 back. Is that a good deal? No, that's a great deal. And in fact, even as good as the money is, which is awesome, he sent me an email and he said, hey, Noah, guess where I am? I'm on a 7-week vacation with my wife. He said, we just bought a new RV. This is a dream I've had for years, he said, but I never had the time and I didn't have the money. And so he said, now because of coaching with you, I've got the money and for the first time, I've got the time. So we're driving around the country. We're seeing the country. This is a dream I've had for years. So he literally said, thank you, Noah, for changing my life. So this is how powerful what I'm teaching is. It's incredibly powerful. And people, many times, they just don't even realize how much they're losing out on if they don't get these things fixed. And
with it being with us, it's like energy shifts and things like that.
Right.
So kind of go into what you mean by that and the different types of energies that you deal with.
Yeah, absolutely. So when we look at the 7-Figure Life here, the book, and by the way, if you go to 7figurelifebook.com, you can get not only the book, but also $700 of free bonus gifts. All right. When you get the book at 7figurelifebook.com, there it is, 7figurelifebook.com. Excuse me. So, so in the book, and by the way, the subtitle there is how to leverage the 4 focus factors for more wealth and happiness. All right. So, to reiterate, I am definitely known for helping people make a lot of money, but I'm also known for giving people their lives back, showing them how to literally win their life, like Charles. I mean, perfect example, right? Time and money. So when we look at the 4 focus factors that I teach you in the book, they are time, energy, relationships, and money. All right. So those are what I call the 4 focus factors. Okay. So if we looked at the element of time, why is time the most important element, the most important focus factor? Why? Well, because it's the only one you can't get more of, right?
Yeah.
All of Bill Gates' billions can't buy 1 minute of yesterday, right?
Okay.
So you can have all the money in the world, you don't get more time. All right.
Yeah.
So that is the one thing that all of us have in common. And I'll give you an example. So people say all the time, and I'm sure you guys hear this every day, right? Oh, I'd love to do A, B, C. I'd love to do X, Y, Z, but I don't have the time. Right? How many times do we say that? Right? We either think it to ourselves or you hear it from people, and people say this to me every day, right? Oh, I want to write books like you do, Noah. I want to have an online course. I want to take more vacations, right? I want to take more time off. I want to see my family more. I want to play golf, whatever it is, but I don't have the time, right? So what I prove to people, and I prove this to you in the book, is that that's a lie. That's a lie that you're telling yourself, because we all have the same 24 hours.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
The head trash.
Exactly. It is, in fact, head trash, right? And so, in fact, I can actually prove it to you right now. For everyone listening to this program, I can prove it to you right now. Now, I want you to imagine that you're going through your day, just a typical normal day. Now, most people that I talk to, they have 1,000,001 things on their to-do list, right? So we're busy, we're running around, whatever. You got kids, you got ballet recitals, you got soccer practice, whatever, right? You got your business, you got your job, 1,000,001 things to do every day, right? So we're busy. Okay.
Yeah.
So what happened? So imagine you're going through just a typical normal day. All of a sudden the phone rings and you answer the phone, and it is someone telling you that a family member just had a very serious car accident and you better get to the hospital right now. Now, what do you do in that moment? Do you say, oh, I can't make it. Can we do next Thursday? Of course not. What do? You drop everything and you go to the hospital. Now, was go to hospital on your to-do list today? Of course not. All right. So what did I just prove to you? I just proved to you that time is not the factor. It's not relevant in the way that you think it is. Right. What is in fact the point is your priorities. So what did you just prove in that moment? Your priority is, of course, with your loved ones, your family, right? That's your first priority. So the point is, what you're telling yourself is a lie. I don't have the time. Wrong. What you're doing is you're living not according to your own priorities. Right. So everybody can actually start to maybe, I hope, internalize that and go, wow, no, you're right. That's a good point. I never thought of it that way.
It is a really good point. But then people will start feeling guilty about those things. So then.
Well, that's not the lesson. I don't want you to feel guilty. What I want you to do, and of course, what I help people do in the books and my coaching, is put together and install the systems that allow you to live your priorities. Right? Like Charles, my client I was just talking about, right? So because I help them with these systems, it's all about systems. See, we don't rise to the level of our goals. We sink to the level of our habits and our systems. Okay. So habit systems, I mean, you can use those words interchangeably. I use the word systems, but I also use the word habits. It's the same thing. Right. So the point is, I mean, the fact of the matter is I work 4 hours a day and I still run a multi-7-figure business. Okay. Now, there's a lot of people out there. Believe me, there's a lot of people out there that say, well, you're lazy. Why aren't you working more? You can make more money. And I'm like, who cares? Who cares? Yeah, right. I want a life, dude. I want to live. Right. Yes. I mean, I want money. Duh. But once you have enough money, see what the hustle bros, that's what I call. I mean, they call themselves that. The hustle bros. Hey, if you're not working 18, 20 hours a day, you're a loser. And I'm like, dude. Get a life, will you? No, I want to live. I want my business to serve me, not the other way around. I don't want to live for my business, but that's what millions of entrepreneurs are unknowingly doing. Why? Because they haven't been taught how to install these habits and systems. You can see I'm very passionate about this. I get a little worked up. So.
Yeah, no, I love it. And I love it. And when I was in business and I was, my own boss, different things. And it was tough. And it was time consuming because it was like I had to wear every hat.
That's right.
And it's like, you go out and you do job estimates, you go and you're talking to clients and you're working up the things and the estimates and the presentations and then doing that and then implementing and then hiring and then this and that. That's and right. It's like never ending. And then you come home at night and try to relax, but you got to do paperwork and start and get ready for the next day. And it's like, it's a never ending cycle.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. And so to your point, so that is one of the reasons why, if for the people who are entrepreneurs or wanting to build their business or grow their business or start their business, where we start is with these systems. We have to install the system so that you, the person, aren't doing everything like Charles.
Yeah.
Why do you think he was able to take 7 weeks off and make $2 million in 10 months? Because of the systems.
Delegate and yes.
Exactly. Right. Boom. There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Raven, live to work or work to live. Right. I want my business serving me, not me living to serve my business. Okay. So just that mindset shift alone for a lot of entrepreneurs is huge. They're like, what?
Yeah.
I didn't know I could do that. Yeah, man.
And that's it.
There you go.
Your money. You know what I mean? And that's
right.
That goes into that. So it's like,
that's right. So by the way, and I'm glad you brought that up, Gina, because you'll notice that I am big on this word leverage, right? And so that's right on the cover there, how to leverage the 4 focus factors for more wealth and happiness, right? So, what most entrepreneurs doing is what you just described. They're running around doing everything. Well, that means you're not applying leverage, right? Remember Archimedes, that famous saying, give me a lever big enough and I can move the earth. Well, that's exactly what I'm giving you in this book and in my coaching, right? A lever, right? So what we're doing is we're leveraging these things. You're leveraging your time, but you're also leveraging other people's time, right? So like I have
20 years ago when I was
I know, right? Well, believe me, I wish I had this. If I had been taught this when I started 30 years ago, I'd be a gazillionaire by now. You know what I mean? Nobody taught me this stuff. Even after I paid them all the money to teach it to me, they still didn't teach me. I'm like, thanks a lot, dude.
Yeah, it's actually way more than 20 years, but
Yeah, no, I get it. But that's what I mean. See, my job, my mission now is to save people the pain, the torment, the agony, and the heartache that I had to go through, to learn this stuff. I mean, literally, I paid over $500,000 and to these guys only to find out they can't teach their way out of a paper bag. They didn't tell me anything. I'm like, dude, I paid you money and you didn't tell me anything. And that's so aggravating. And of course, I'm not alone in that. Millions of people have had the same or similar experience to me. He probably hasn't spent as much money as I have or as much time. But still, a lot of people are, of course, they've been ripped off by these gurus, by these guys.
Oh my God.
And it sucks, So trust is very low right now for that precise reason. Oh, Susie, just put in my Amazon cart. Great job, Susie. All right. Well, I hope you enjoy it. send me a note and let me know if you like it. I hope you do.
You would love her. She's
let's talk, Susie. Get on breakthroughwithnoah.com and let's talk.
Yep, one of the best people on the planet right there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Sweet. She's so much fun.
Wonderful.
But now I just lost Susie, it's your fault. I just lost a train of thought that I was going to say.
We were talking about systems. We were talking about not having to work so hard.
Yeah, we were, but that wasn't what I was going. I was going to actually change it.
Oh,
me too. I was going to change the subject and go somewhere else. What the heck was it?
All right.
Because of changing ourselves and everything, and like I was kind of going at with that when we feel guilty about things like this, and having someone else do our things. Well, maybe we should be doing that, and because some of us old timers were brought up that way, like no, you have to work, you have to do it, blah blah blah. You know what I mean?
Most of us were. Do you guys remember the movie Back to School with Rodney Dangerfield? You guys remember that movie?
Oh my God, yes.
What an awesome movie, right? Anybody in the chat, type in if you remember that movie, Back to School. Great movie, just hilarious. Rodney Dangerfield at his best. All right. Now, what's so funny about that movie and seeing it now, I didn't appreciate it, of course, when I was a kid because I was just a kid. But now seeing it as an adult, I have to laugh. Susie, you remember that?
Yep.
And okay, and so if you remember Thornton Mellon, right, played by Rodney Dangerfield, he's this very successful business owner, entrepreneur, and so he goes back to college to be with his son, and so his son is there and doing all the work, and Rodney's there and he's outsourcing, right? He's delegating. All right, you do the astronomy homework, you do this, you do that, and of course the kid is like, no, I want to do it myself. I'm like, man, that kid is dumb.
There you go.
I know. If I could have someone do, now
I know.
My mindset now is completely different from when I was younger because we didn't have these things. We didn't have this available.
That's right.
Then.
No.
So it is so true, and it's so like get it for your kids. You know what I mean? give this to your kids who are
That's
in
right.
college, in high school, the end of their high school, like beginning high school, whatever. Get them set.
Oh, totally. That, I mean, you will literally change their lives if you get them, any of my books, Power Habits, Seven Figure Life,
Yeah, I'm gonna share that
anything, because
again.
like
I'll
I said,
tell you
this
about it.
comes from the school of hard knocks, the school of
Yes.
pain, the school of torment, agony. There you go. I
Mhm.
mean,
Affirmations is a great thing too. Yeah, I mean,
yes.
it's a wonderful, wonderful tool. Gratitude, affirmations, things like forgiveness, kind of like even like the 12 steps of AANA, all those things where you go through those things. That's to better yourself, personal, not just addictions. I mean, people just read the steps one of these days, okay? And because it really helps working on yourself. And you do bring up some of these things because it's very important. You have people that are draining your energy. You have your energy
Oh
vampires.
God,
You
Right.
yes.
have that. People are leeching off you. But also, what leeches off of you is your own self in here. So forgive yourself, forgive other people. The affirmations, the lists of affirmations, and you have some in here. You have a site that you can go to for more that you list in there. And how explain some of that, why you added that, why is that so important?
Are you talking about my Afformations method, or are you talking?
Yes, you have affirmations in here, and
Yep.
in a list, you have a list of them. Where we could put that on?
Okay, so what I want people to realize is we're saying a different word here than you're used to. Now, this is what I invented
Formation.
30
Oh,
years ago, which is Afformations. You
Mhm.
mentioned at the beginning, I'm the father of affirmations. No, I'm the father of Afformations. All
okay.
right. So it's
Okay.
and by the way, you can go to afformations.com,
That's what it is.
AFFORMATIONS. You see that? Afformations. This is my Hay House book, by the
Okay.
way. So if you go to afformations.com. So what I invented 30 years ago was my Afformations method. Now, of course, everybody listening to this program knows what an affirmation is, the old way, which
Yeah.
is a statement. So what I want people to realize is the manifestation industry is built on one big lie. Now, that's a very powerful statement I just said, and I'm going to back it up. The
Okay.
manifestation industry is built on one big lie. Now, what is that lie? That lie is if you just say positive statements, you're going to change your life. Now, that is a lie. And I know because, hey, Raven just downloaded the audiobook. Great job. Awesome. Because I tried it the old way for years, for decades, actually, the affirmations, the statements way, and it never worked. How many of you, go ahead and type in the chat right now, how many of you have used the old method of affirmations or statements like I'm happy, I'm rich, I'm successful, and got nothing? That's what exactly. Hello. So the point is, when I was I was a 30-year-old college student living in a tiny little dorm room in Amherst, Massachusetts, and I've been reading all these books for years. And they all said the same thing. If you want to change your life, you've got to change the statements you're saying. And I did that. I'm happy. I'm rich. I'm successful. I pat it all over the wall. When the reality was, no, I'm not. I'm broke, unhappy, and miserable.
And
Right? Exactly. So I said, what aren't they telling us? What is missing? What is the missing piece? And that is why in April 1997, I actually discovered my now iconic Afformations method. It was actually in the shower. I call it the shower that changed everything, right? And in the shower, I realized, why are we going around making statements we don't believe when the human mind responds automatically to something much more powerful, the power of questions? And so I realized,
you have one in here. It's why do I leverage my time so well?
exactly.
Okay.
So that is an affirmation, not an affirmation, an affirmation. Again, go to afformations.com, AFFORMATIONS.com. You can put that in the chat.
Yep.
Excuse me. And that is my Afformations method, along with a ton of other bonuses, by the way, at afformations.com. Anyway, so just my Afformations method has changed over 2 million lives around the planet, over 140 countries over the last 3 decades. So just if you do nothing but that, you will change your life. Now, but I want people to realize is that's just the beginning of what I teach. Afformations is just one of the 11 power habits that I teach, the power habits of unconsciously successful people. So people absolutely love my Afformations method. Why? Because it's simple and it works. Hello, something very different in the manifestation industry. Because what they love to do is confuse you, and then it doesn't work. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Because
So I do the opposite. I do something different. I go simple, and it works. Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. But I mean, that's what the people were all like, the secret people, all that
Right.
kind of stuff. It was like, oh, I'm just going to write it down. And everything is just going to be hunky
right.
dory. And, I'm going to let go and let the universe do this. And it's like, good luck with that. Right?
Good luck with that. Right. I'm going to sit here and think about a new car, and a new car appears in my garage.
Right.
Great. How's that going for you?
And what?
So they are lying. They're lying to all of us. And why? To sell DVDs. That's why. No kidding.
Yeah, and they made a lot of money.
They made a lot of money. Why? Because they told us what we want to hear. What we all want to hear is that we can think about something, do no work, and it magically appears. There you go. Yeah. Boom. Afformations.com. Yep. You spelled it perfectly. Great job, Darlene. All right. So anyway, and Mama and Gina did it too. All right. Great job. Anyway, so the point is Afformations. But I want to reiterate, you definitely absolutely can start with my Afformations method. And yeah, just that alone will change your life. I just want people to realize that's just the beginning. It's the tip of the iceberg. It's a beautiful tip. It's a beautiful iceberg, but you do have to do the rest.
And it's incorporated in here too.
Exactly.
So there's a lot of things in here. That's what I'm saying. It's like, it's not that big of a beat. It's not a heavy read. It's not overpowering. It's not overwhelming. It's very doable. Very, awesome. Very doable. Oh, so that's why we have
the book Gina has in her hands. She said it doesn't look big. It might look a little big only because Gina has dog-eared a lot of pages.
Oh yeah, I did.
So
I did do that. I have all kinds of underlines and circles and points and arrows and everything in here. And I tried to put out some different points.
That's what we authors love to see. I love it when people come up to me and they say, hey, my book's all dog-eared and notated and marked. I'm like, yes, you used it. Yay. That makes me so happy.
Exactly.
I love it. Love it.
Little notes here and there. It's, yeah. And the thing is too, first time you read the book, you're going to think one thing. The second time you read the book, you're going to start to do steps, So it's a book that you're going to want to have handy to go back to. However, and I'm going to do this one more time over here, if I can get up here, look at them all. Okay. And again, he's got all these different things. That's that Afformations. I'm sorry, I pronounced that wrong before.
That's okay. It happens a lot. Gina, don't worry about it.
I'm from Massachusetts. I don't have R's in my language. So Afformations is without an R. So Afformations, it's a tough one.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
It's a tough one for me.
That's a tough one. Yeah.
An asshole.
I went to school in Boston, so I'm like, yeah, we got Smart Pack. Smart Pack. Did you go to what? Did you go to Worcester? Yeah, Smart Pack. Did you go to the garden? Yeah, Smart Pack. I packed it.
I don't want to go to the garden. I don't want to go to Fenway either.
Did you go to Saugus? Yeah, I packed it there. Darlene, did you have a question or comment earlier? I saw your hand up.
The first book that you said you did, Brain Trash.
Yes. So actually, the first book's called Permission to Succeed. This is one of my new books. Yeah, there it is. Get rid of your head trash about money. See that in the bottom right corner. Okay. So yeah, you can actually. That book is actually free. You could pay money on Amazon or get the book free. There's a website, sendmeabooknoah.com, which is just what it sounds like. Let's see. Connect to comment. Can I comment here? Anyway, it's Send Me a Book Noah. Easy to remember. Send Me a Book Noah. I know I'm throwing. I have 200 domains. I promise I won't give you all of them. But anyway, sendmeabooknoah.com. It's easy. Send Me a Book Noah. Anyway, so that's this book right here. Is Get Rid of Your Head Trash About Money. And yeah, again, there's like hundreds of dollars of bonuses there. I love to throw in extra. I'm a giver. What can I say? I'm a giver. There it is. Send me a book, Noah.com. Not a comma. But anyway,
it's a dot, not a thing.
Not a comma. We're not in England.
It's a dot. I was trying to do it quickly.
You're good, Don.
There we go. There you go.
And everybody's going, how many? Yeah, I got 25 books. I got 200 websites. What can I do? There you go. Send me a book, Noah. There it is. So yeah, I won't give you all of them. I promise.
But if you do order this one, you do get free stuff.
Oh
so-
yeah, tons of bonuses. Because you know what? Here's the thing: while you're waiting for the book to arrive, I know people they're excited. They're like, "I want to get started now." Boom! That's why I give you all these digital resources, right? So you're going to get digital, which of course goes immediately to your email, right? And so that's why when you go to, it's actually called the Noah Vault, my vault, my vault filled with amazing programs, that I've created over the last 2 decades. So anyway, the point is, when you order the book, we're going to send it to you, we're going to ship it to your door. But while you're waiting, you can also avail yourself of all these free resources in Noah Vault.
You're amazing. You're such a good guy.
Well, what can I say?
Now, what is the DeBar cycle?
Oh yeah, the D-bar cycle. I love that one. All right, so I want everybody listening to this program, listen to the sound of my voice right now, to think about your goals, right? Think about what it is that you want to create in the next 12 months. All right. Now, everybody and their brother talks about goals, right? We've heard it, goals. We heard it a million times. Yeah. Okay. But here's what people do not talk about. And this is one of the things that makes me different. My book's different, my coaching different, and frankly, my clients' results different, meaning, right? Hockey stick. All right. So if you think about what it is that you want, it actually comes into 4 distinct elements, 4 distinct phases. And that's what I call the D-bar cycle. All right. So D stands for desire. Desire. What do you want? Right. So we humans are goal-oriented organisms. We are always constantly thinking about what we want. Right. We are planning what we want. We're thinking about what we want. We're daydreaming about what we want. So that's your desires. All right. So whether it's a new car, a new house, a new job, a better promotion, you want to lose weight, you want to find love, healthy, Sharon says, health is what I want. Exactly. So it's not just money. Money is part of it, but it's not just money. It's relationships, it's health. Exactly. All right. So that is your desire, right? That's the D in my D-bar cycle. Next, the B. The B stands for belief. Now, here's what they don't tell you about goals. And again, this is one of the things that makes me different. What is the very next thought that happens right after you set your goal? Do you know what it is for most people? For most people, they set a goal, and then the very next thought is, I don't think I can do it.
Yeah.
I can't do it. Yep. That's too hard. I don't have the time. I don't have the money. I can't afford it. I don't know where to start. I tried that before and it didn't work. Oh yeah, I've tried everything. Oh, what if I fail? What if it doesn't work? You see what I just did? Right. What did I just do? I just shot down everything I just said I wanted. Right. So this is what most people are doing. Most people, and type in the chat if you guys agree with this. Right. Type in the chat. Is this what have you experienced something like this? Right. I want this, but I don't think I can do it. Right. So let's be very clear. Snickers says sure. All right. So let's be very clear. There's only 2 types of belief when we talk about our desires. And that is, I can do it and I can't do it. I can do it. I can do that. Yes, no, I can lose that weight. I can make that money. I can start that business. I can write that book. Or, I can't do it. That's it. I mean, that's it. It's pretty much black and white. It's a pretty much yes or no deal, right? I can or I can't. All right. So now let's go to the A. What's the A? The A in my D-bar cycle is action. Action, right? So that means you have a desire. I want this. You have a belief. Now, again, most people, I probably can't do it. So what's the action you're going to take if you just told yourself you can't do it? What's the action you're going to take?
Sit your butt back on the chair.
Nothing. Exactly. Nothing, nothing, nothing. You do nothing because you just told yourself you won't do it. So you're going to prove yourself right. You're going to prove yourself right by not doing it.
Right.
Okay. So you take no action. That's the A. And guess what the R is? Result. The R stands for result. That's the D-bar cycle. And your result, you don't take any action. So your result is nothing. Nothing. So now let's just change one thing. Just change one element in my D-bar cycle. You have a desire. Your desire doesn't change. I want to be healthy. I want to make money. I want a promotion. I want to lose weight. I want to, grow my business, whatever it is. The desire doesn't change. Belief. Let's just change one belief from I can't to I can. I can do it. I can do it. All right. Then the action you're going to take is you're going to do something. I mean, maybe you're going to get coaching with me. Maybe you're going to get one of my books. Maybe you go to breakthroughwithnoah.com. You go to, any of the Afformations, like anything, right? Go to any of these resources I've given you, right?
It's something.
Okay, so that you take an action, and then the result is you always get what you want, right? No,
I should. I'm red
of
and I'm
course
stubborn. I
not.
should.
See, this is where what the gurus don't want to tell you, because the gurus say, well, just believe in yourself and it'll always work out. Bull. I want to tell, and I tell everybody this. I tell my clients this. I say it on every podcast. Do you know I've been in this business a long time, 3 decades now, and 8 out of 10 things that I've tried have failed. 8 out of 10.
Right. And a lot of people will stop at that thing. They'll do one, fail, and they're done. And
Exactly.
It's like,
Exactly.
no,
But you know what? With just 2 out of 10 things working, I've done okay. You know what I'm saying? So do you see what I'm saying? I'm sharing that because I want people to realize, just because you believe, just because you take action, doesn't mean you get what you want on the first try or the second or the third or the 10th or the 50th. We don't know when it's going to happen. But if you don't take any action, we know exactly what's going to happen.
Not going to happen.
Right?
Exactly.
So here's my message to everyone listening to the sound of my voice. If you're happy with your results, by all means, keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
If you're not happy with your results, you might want to try something different. I wonder where you could find someone to help you.
No idea.
I don't know. I got no clue.
I don't know.
Do you hear the sarcasm, everybody? Are you getting this?
There we go.
Susie's laughing. Susie gets it.
This is why I love this guy.
Yeah.
What can I say?
Awesome. He's awesome. And he means it, and he stands by it. And he's got a lot of people that he's helped that are, it's proof. It is proof out there.
Yeah.
And people they starve themselves
Of
from
success. That's
right?
right.
And
So my job is to help people stop starving themselves of success. Go to breakthroughwithnoah.com. Let's get you off of the diet of non-success. Let's get you, there you go, breakthroughwithnoah.com. Come on, let's do it. By the way, you can watch videos there. I always say, listen, people don't have to believe me, but believe my clients. Just watch the videos there. Tamisa's there. The person who I told you, the woman who I told you tripled in 2 weeks. She is there talking. It's her words, not mine.
Yeah.
Right?
There you go.
He's helping. This
Come
is
on.
the way you can get the book. And send me a book, Noah.
I know there's a lot. So just start at breakthroughwithnoah.com or one of my books. But let's do this. I mean, come on, let's make this your year. Why wait? Time, look, friends, look, in the game of life, Father Time is undefeated. Okay? The clock is ticking on all of us. I'm not trying to be maudlin here. I'm just like, that's the reality. I mean, come on, man. So let's go. Why are you waiting? What are you waiting for? Let's go. Oh, I can't do it. I don't have the time. I don't have the money. No kidding.
Right.
Okay. If you're happy with your results, keep doing what you're doing. If not, let's do something different. By the way, people say, oh, but no, I can't afford coaching. Then get a book. I remember when I didn't have 2 nickels to rub together. What did I do? I went to the library. If you can't afford a $20 book, then go to the library. Read my books for free. I'm not here to try to sell you stuff. I'm here to help you. I'm providing resources. Now, Charles, he was able to invest $100K. Some people aren't able to do that. I get it. Not everybody can, but my goodness, how many books do you want? Let's go.
Yeah. I know he's got one on everything and audio.
Let's go.
However you want to do your book, all right, and it's there and it's going to help you, and it really.
And we believe in what he's saying, because we've had him back on in under 6 months.
Yeah,
he was only here for like 4 months ago. So we listen, we pay attention, and we do believe in what he says. Have we become a millionaire yet? What? Are we going to? Quite possibly.
Well, neither of you have gone to Breakthrough with Noah yet. So let's go, guys. Come on.
Okay.
That is true.
God,
let's go.
I don't know why I haven't done that, honestly.
Yes. That's a beard stroker. I wonder.
Confidence is a muscle you can devour.
Yes. Listen, actually, I love that you brought that up, because I'll share with you that, in high school, I was the nerd before it was cool to be a nerd. Right now, today, it's cool to be a nerd. So I was 40 years ahead of my time. Okay. Because believe me, I was not cool. I had Coke bottle glasses, a face full of acne, and I didn't have shoulder length hair. I had shoulder width hair. Okay. So you can picture that. And, you know, I was a total chick magnet. Let's just put it that way, right? Not exactly. Anyway, my point is, you know, I've worked on myself for decades to get to where I am. And now, I mean, I have an absolutely stunning, gorgeous, beautiful wife who is just the greatest thing in the world. So actually, it's so funny because I went to my 40th high school reunion, okay, just recently. And I had, you know, my gorgeous wife on my arm, and I walked in like, ha, 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 ha. Check this out, guys. You know, remember the nerd back then? And check me out, all right?
Yeah, yeah.
And literally people were writing on the Facebook page, who is that? I'm like, that'd be me, dude.
There you go. There you go.
Check this out.
You want the old picture, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So my point of the story is, if someone like me, a total nerd, can find the confidence, then anybody can do it. The point is, I had to do it the hard way because I didn't have anybody helping me. I didn't have my books that somebody could just read. I had to read books that weren't very good. So I had to write books that are good, you know, to actually solve the freaking problem that other people just didn't. So anyway, if I could do it, anybody can do it.
And that's a fact. That is a fact. All right. How much? Oh my God, no, we're there.
Yeah.
That hour went by very fast.
It did.
You'll have to have me on again. Let's do it again.
I would love to. You should be like a little 5-minute segment every week in the show just to give someone a little boost.
You tell me where and when, I will be there.
But
tell me where and when, I'll be there. I love you guys, so let's do it.
You've got Gina thinking now.
Honest to God, if we did a little tidbit with Noah,
I love it.
Keep you
just tell me where and when, I'll be there.
You open that door, boy.
Oh yeah.
Hey. See the hamster running around?
We always say that when you're in the Fox 10 family, you're a member for life, right? Yeah. So you're a member for life.
Well, I'm honored. I'm honored, and I want to just give back to this community and you know, be a resource as much as I can.
Well, listen, I really appreciate you spending your time with us. I do hope that, I mean, you got people already. I'm sure Raven's listening to your book, and you know, people, honest to God, just think of your kids. If you're not even doing this for yourself, think of your kids' future, your grandkids, all that. You know, like, we need the help that we didn't have when we were younger. You know, us older people, and if you're younger watching, now's the time, because you know the time does go really fast. He does know what he's talking about. It is doable. It's doable. It's easy when you read it. You will get motivated, because I mean, reading it again, it's like, oh man, why haven't I got a breakthrough? Noah.com yet is beyond me, because I don't understand why. I don't.
Maybe we could rectify that.
We will rectify.
Yes.
Just know that,
because do it.
Yes, do it. I do try to lead by my actions, so I will do it. I'm
here to help. Why not take advantage? Let's go.
And I believe I put the breakthrough to Noah. No, I didn't. I'm going to put it into the link into the chat room. So
love you, Susie.
Everything, just click on that.
Okay, I'm coming here.
Susie, that was so sweet. I'm so glad you liked it. Let's go. Let's do it.
So again, I say thank you so much, but I got to show you guys this, what we're going to be talking about next week. You're the fucking problem. That is the book that we're going to focus on next week. And that's exactly what it's all about. So, but I just can't thank you enough. And we're talking. Hang here for just a minute. I'm going to say buonanotte to everybody. Thank you for joining us. It's good to be back, and we'll see you next week with that book, and you'll see him again.
We're sure.
All right.
Let's
ciao for now.